All the major gamers out there got a chance to get their hands on the game. I've definitely heard a lot of positive talk about the game so far, which I expected nothing less. This game doesn't have a lot of the negative controversy and shit going on behind the scenes as The Last of Us, and we really at this point just need a game that doesn't disappoint. We've had a lot of really major hyped up titles here. Anthem, and then Death Stranding, and then recently here The Last of Us 2. And I think we're all just due for a game that has a lot of hype around it that actually delivers, and I think this is going to be that title. Everything is pointing in that direction. A lot of the major companies like IGN, GameSpot, and then as well as some smaller streamers and content creators out there like Alana Pierce, and a handful of others have all got their hands on it. And overall, the gameplay reactions were very, very good. So not every single NPC will give you a full string of dialogue because there's literally thousands of people out there in Night City that you can interact with. But the cool thing is each and every one of them, you can go up to them and say at least hello, or they say something unique to you, which is crazy that they had to record that many separate voices, It's pretty intense. And then also, it's pretty realistic, I guess, if people are looking down at their phone or something like that, and you keep staring at them, they'll look up and be like, hey, what the fuck you want? You want to, be bullet to the knee or whatever. So that's really cool. Night City apparently looks absolutely gorgeous. I've watched all the gameplay video, all the new gameplay footage out there. We're going to actually see some of it here with episode 1 of Nightwire, and I'm pretty excited because I haven't watched this particular content yet. I've just watched all the streamers out there giving their thoughts of their hands-on time behind the sticks. My invite must have got lost in the mail. I'm sure they sent one over to poor old AK-40 Kevin. Alright, let's get right into this shit. That's a banger, as the kids say. There we go. For some reason it was playing out of my PC speakers. I apologize for that.
Cyberpunk 2077. For today's episode, we'll be starting with a brand new trailer.
That's better.
One of our developers will be joining us to help unpack everything you're going to see. We'll have some news, an announcement about a secret collaboration.
She looks fucking scary. Like, kind of attractive, but also, like, she'll gouge your eyes out after she gives you the best 30 seconds of your life.
But there is one more thing. Media all over the world have been getting hands-on with Cyberpunk 2077.
I already told them that.
You'll be able to go and check out exactly what they thought. So, let's get started.
Hey, a new Tinder match. Sweet. Might lose my virginity this month.
Will be joining us because I've got a feeling you're going to have a few questions after watching this. So, let's take a look.
Love this town. The city of endless opportunity. Ready to get your cherry popped? Yeah.
That's provocative.
It's bigger. Nah, mano. Not just any other city. Legends are born here. The Major Leagues. We're only here because Dex is pulling the strings. Doubt
Oh
that
my.
place is in the same league as
Thought this was a kid's game.
we are. They just don't know it yet. But if you got the cojones, you know how to use them, you can do damn near anything. Unless you catch a bull. Even then, you go out with a bang, right? You know, you can make heaps more A's as a motivational speaker. Yo, Mr. V.
Hey, welcome aboard.
What's the gig, Dex? You meant to come out in one piece? How about we go over the plan?
Laughs like my first girlfriend.
Prototype tech, biochip to be precise. Johnson Lab.
Guessing it belongs to a corp.
Arasaka.
We're robbing some heavy hitters.
Thought you could blackmail me, fucker?
High risk, high reward. First rule of the afterlife.
Ka-ching, baby.
Goes without saying, we do this on the hush. Ideally, no bodies, not a one.
Sounds simple enough.
Is it gonna be dangerous?
Don't you worry, young one. We're bulletproof.
What the fuck just happened?
God, this game looks so fucking good. Gameplay, story, graphic design of that futuristic neon lit city. Oh my god. RPG mixed with a shooter. It's like Fallout, but 100 times better. Fallout 4 was a pretty good game, not 76. No, sir.
You. Who are you?
Hey, and it's got my favorite actor in it too, Keanu Reeves. Very exciting. A close second would be Leonardo DiCaprio.
Contains footage from the game's prologue only, but there was an awful lot in it. So, Pavel, why don't you try and help us unpack?
Dude, her eyelashes scare the shit out of me.
Absolutely, I can try. So, what you have just seen is only the prologue of the game.
What
So
you,
most of the stuff is
yeah.
only happening in the first few quests. What
Pollock
the trailer
Sasko.
shows you is really our stage, the Night City. You know, this gigantic city built of.
There's massive boobies for you to toggle out there in Night City, door knockers.
You are meeting
Nico Bellic over here.
your friend. Now,
Some of you kids might be a little young to know who that is.
Trying to reach out for something that is very precious. They're trying to reach out for this chip of immortality, this gateway to eternal life. Jackie introduces you to Fixer Dexter Deshawn. He's a very important person in the social ladder of Cyberpunk. He is able to provide the player with various jobs and contracts to be able to gather money, to be able to modify their bodies, push themselves to the limits, to put their hands on the chip. But as you can expect, not everything goes as planned. And but to see it, you have to play the game.
There are an awful lot of really cool things in this trailer, and there's a few that I would just love to talk about a little bit more for the people at home. So let's start with talking about a gang called the Mox. Now, we see a few flashes of them in this trailer.
I love to get
personally think
flashed.
they're really cool and one of my favorites, but can you give us a little bit more information about them?
Oh yes, so the Mox is one of the gangs that player is going to interact with throughout the game. The Mox is the gang that has been formed in 2076 after death of
Nice.
Elizabeth Warden. She was called Liz. Now, she was owner of a brothel and former sex worker, and she was protecting working guys and girls from harassment, from abuse, and the gang is really continuing her mission. And as a player, you are going to interact with that gang, meet multiple different NPCs, and craft your own relationship with them, and understand what they're all about.
So earlier on, you did.
It's pretty
mention
in-depth, I
the
like that.
Seventh District, a place called Badlands. Now, we saw a few shots of this in the trailer, but I'd love for you to give us a bit more.
So that's new news there. Up until now, we've had 6 districts of Night City, which is the wide open world of Cyberpunk 2077. They now have a 7th one called the Badland. Depending on which character class you choose, you will start in a different area of the map. If you choose what's called the Nomad, you start out in the Badlands, and your first mission is basically doing a major drug trafficking thing out there in the desert.
Detail about the districts outside of the city walls.
Okay, so the Badlands is this like dead, dried out space going around the whole Night City. And as a player, you'll be able to traverse that space. in
God,
all
the
of
vehicle
the
interiors look
space
so good.
inhabited by
Love it.
Nomads are living in a different families, and they're traveling across that space in convoys made out of the cars and motorcycles. And as a player, you'll be able to traverse and access different type of open world content that has been prepared specifically for you to get that awesome feel of the Badlands as an arena.
In the trailer, we also saw like a completely metal creature. Now, he didn't look like he was from the Maelstrom gang. This looked like something.
Make sure I don't
else.
do a nip slip or
Tell
anything.
people at home, who is this giant metal monster?
Okay, so that big dude, that was Adam Smasher. He has been introduced in pen and paper in Cyberpunk 2020 by our.
Hey, welcome aboard. Come on in. Kick your feet
Adam
up.
Smasher
Grab a
is
beer.
a fully converted cyborg. He was always a loyalist of Arasaka, and time has.
God, he looks like the stuff of
He
nightmares.
has to find his own space in Night City, but to find out, you'll have to play the game.
In this trailer, we do see some flashes of a Ripper doc called Victor Vector. who
Bonjour
is
to you,
they
666.
might
The
remember
mark
him.
of the
But
beast.
I'd
I
really
like it.
for you to give the people at home some more information about what Ripper docs are and how they'll be interacting with them when they play Cyberpunk.
So, Reaper Dogs in our game.
I'm sorry. I can't find out. I can't process this. Is she attractive? Is she terrifying? Is she both? Am I aroused? Am I scared? I just don't get it.
They are surgeons. They are like a specific type of a job in the social ladder of Cyberpunk. They are accustomed and specialized in replacing limbs to the metal ones. They can
Yeah, so this is an event they did 2 days ago. It's a huge event, Night City Wire Episode 1. So it's they do have a lot of interviews with developers, but they also have brand new gameplay footage shown for the first time. That's what I'm super excited to watch. And then they also give it to a bunch of major streamers out there, like Alana Pierce and, oh man, just a bunch of them. And they were able to give their feedback about what they think could use modification and what works good.
Basically update your body, enhance your body, change you into this walking war machine. And as a player, you are going to meet different kinds of Reaper dogs in the game, craft your own relationship with them. Some of them are like important characters for a story. Through that, you will invest.
Yeah, about 20 developers, or I'm sorry, not developers, content creators, YouTubers, and Twitchers were able to get their hands on it and play it. So all of them uploaded videos talking about their process playing the game. They couldn't show any gameplay footage, but they were able to answer questions. And I think Alana Pierce's video is really good. She answered like a shitload of really good questions.
Pavel, thank you so much for joining us. I know you'll be back later in the episode because you're going to be helping us to analyze the Braindance gameplay. But before that, we do have some news to share. Earlier in the year, we announced that if you pick up Cyberpunk 2077 on Xbox One, you'll be able to play it on Xbox Series X when the console launches.
Yay.
And just in case you missed it, it will be the same for PlayStation players as well. If you pick up Cyberpunk 2077 on PlayStation 4,
Why would you do that?
PlayStation 5 when
Don't play it on PS5. Get it on Series X. Enjoy that extra 30% horsepower.
Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5, but we'll have more details on that soon.
Tonight City.
Before we reveal our first look at the Braindance gameplay and welcome back our developers for a chat, there is just one more thing we want to announce. Something that we've been working on in secret for a while.
Ooh, Victoria's Secret.
We are very excited to announce our partnership with Studio Trigger and Netflix to bring you Cyberpunk Edgerunners, a standalone anime set in the Cyberpunk universe, which we've been working on for some
What?
time. Edgerunners
I'll be
is
watching
due to launch
that.
in 2022, but for some more information, let's go to the team in Tokyo.
Also a good question. I would prefer to play it on PC, although the new consoles are pretty goddamn powerful.
I am the Japan-based
But still,
producer
keyboard,
for
mouse, you're
Cyberpunk
absolutely right.
Edgerunners. What I do basically on this project is that I am a fixer, to put it in the words of the Cyberpunk universe.
She is a nice
We're a
lady.
game company. We are a bunch of nerds, and wherever there are nerds, there's going to be anime fans. So it was always a dream for us to make anime. When we began this project, we were certain that we didn't want to make a recreation of the game. Cyberpunk Edgerunners is a standalone story set in the same universe. The stage is still Night City, but everything else is totally new. New characters, new story. I do like to think that it's going to be a great gateway for newcomers to come and check Cyberpunk game and also the Cyberpunk genre as a whole.
Dope.
Right now we're in Nakano, which is one of the biggest anime meccas of the world. I'm going to take you to Studio Trigger right now because we have the wonderful opportunity to talk to the dream team that will be bringing you this anime.
こんにちは。トリガーの
こんにちは。
取締役の大塚です。
監督の今石です。キャラクターデザイン
These are the big brains behind the operation.
ゲームのサイバーパンクのファンの方、今回初めて触れる方両方に満足していただけるように。
Does my fucking camera look crooked? I don't like that at
お
all.
願いします。
今回はそのサイバーパンクという僕らが10代の、一ファンにしか過ぎなかった頃に生まれたジャンル、
Better.
そういうジャンルのものをまた、時代が何周もして作れるというのが非常に楽しみです。トリガーも10年ということで、監督に今石、キャラクターデザインに吉成という。
Welcome aboard, everyone. Watching Night City Wire Episode 1. These are the big old master brains, the 1000 IQ gentlemen behind the production, and some good stuff is happening.
最強の武人で、トリガー10周年にふさわしい作品にしていきたいと思います。
Yeah, hopefully those delays are to massage out kinks and glitches and bugs, and they're not just pointless delays, and then, like Last of Us 2, it just turns out to be a big stinky turd that still has glitches, gameplay errors, and an overall
Now
bad
it's
written
time to
story.
share some gameplay of Braindance. This is a feature that you'll experience when you play Cyberpunk 2077. Braindance is essentially a recording of somebody else's experience. It allows you to relive their sense of sight.
Quick question, chat. How is the audio of the video in comparison to my voice? Does anything need any tweaking?
Smell, touch, and even hearing, all thanks to a special device. After the gameplay, I will be welcoming back Pavel Sasko, and I will also be joined by Patrick Mills, our senior quest designer and all-round lore master, who will be helping to answer your questions and give you some explanation on how you'll be interacting with Braindance when you play Cyberpunk 2077.
Is that better?
Let's take a look.
Plan simple. Do nothing odd. Don't get creative. You go in, snatch the cash, get out. And we sell the BD to those psycho freaks from the studio.
Got it.
And remember, everything on full blast. They'll spot us extra for a wicked adrenaline high.
Okay, on you go.
Sweet. Little handbanger. I like it. Little futuristic Glock 9.
Down, everybody, on the ground. I want to see you kissing the flooring. Money, now, or I will fucking drop you. I swear to God. Ooh. Well, yeah, hey, now.
Oh, he's got a fanny pack. Wrong dude to fuck with.
Ah!
Slow, deep breaths. Your cortisol and adrenaline spiked, but the soft activated your hormone blockers. Nothing happened.
She's
You're
a bad
alive
one.
and well.
That was too much. I feel the guy's pain, his stress, his
Another Tinder match and message. Oh boy.
hope wrapped up in something else.
Mm-hmm. Probably took a booster just before. You'll be fine. Got everything
Booster,
set up?
like a
Let's
Viagra.
switch over to editing mode.
I'll sever the link to the BD Roller's sensory array. You'll be able to look around freely. Whole scene's yours. Full cam control in analysis mode, so move around, zoom in and out, whatever else you come up with. Think of it as your own little sandbox. So, analysis mode, you control playback. Can even pause when you feel the need. Then you use the editor console to unpause. Try it.
So like a drone, sort
Plan
of?
simple. Do nothing odd. Don't get creative. You go in, snatch the cash, get out. And we sell the BD to those psycho freaks from the studio.
Got it.
Dream as hell, right? Well, that's not all. You can speed things up or rewind, whatever you like. Give it a try. Rewind, roll it back to the top. All good, neat. Now try fast forwarding a bit.
Plan simple. Do nothing odd. Don't get creative. You go in, snatch the cash, get out.
Okay. You can also reset the recording. That'll take you right back to the beginning. Try it. Now for some fun. This here's why you came in the first place. In analysis mode, you get to view and even scan details of the enviro recorded by the BD Roller. Focus on the heat, the gun this gonk gets from his buddy at the beginning. Now scan it.
Plan simple. Do nothing odd. Don't get creative. You go in, snatch the cash, get out. And we sell the BD to those psycho freaks from the studio. And remember,
Okay, right here. Excellent. Let's move on.
Interesting.
Now, heads up. In analysis
So I don't
mode,
fully
you can
understand
ferret
this
out
concept,
background
but
noise and conversations if the roller got close enough. This tech records everything, every little detail, even the sights and sounds the roller was never aware of. To see the sources of the recorded sensory signals, switch to the audio layer in the editor. Go ahead and try that now.
so he farted and thought nobody heard it,
Now
but
you
your
should
drone
see
picked it up.
several sound signatures in the store. Choose one and hone in on it.
Pack of 6, case of Brosif, and a couple of zappers.
Couple of packs of used condoms and an apple core.
Two flavors. Cuddy and serpent. Everybody!
So, any thoughts?
Unbelievable. Seriously, like what's happening right next to me.
Yeah, it's how BD recording implants work. They pick up everything, all the elements in the background. Then an editor tweaks them, makes them pop. Keep playing with the sound, explore it a bit. We'll move on when you get bored.
I want to see you kissing the flooring. Money. Now.
Sometimes you can analyze extra layers in the raw, stuff the roller's cyberware picked up.
That's
Like
deep.
what?
It's a level of
Ed's
immersion.
got Kiroshi optics that grab infrared. meaning you should be able to grab heat signatures from her recording.
Huh. Hella nice.
Scanning works on peeps, too. Walk up to the wounded chick. Try scanning her. Alright, next thing. Scroll forward to the part where our artist gets a lead injection.
Or I will fucking drop you, I swear to God! Well, now, fucking head off!
See that? They shot him and he never
my
saw it coming.
God.
But you will. Here it comes.
God, I
My
can't wait to
favorite
play this
part
game.
of
I'm
the
so
game.
excited.
See the blinking thing over the entrance? Surveillance cam. Must have caught our shooter. You'll see in a sec. Cam feeds to the screen behind the clerk. Roll back to where the screen's in the kid's field of vision, then scan it. His own Chumba shot him. Probably planned to all along. Must have got a nice slice of cred on the black market for a BD like this. BD
Blu-ray disc?
are ready to pay a preem for a real flatline. Anyway, if you've seen enough, you can exit.
Oh, my corneas. Holy Jesus.
Impressive, right?
Hey, welcome aboard. Come on in, grab a beer.
Good for flogging the log.
So
Flogging
braindance is a
the
pretty
log.
big part of the cyberpunk universe. It's not just something used for adult films. There is an awful lot to it. And there's two sides I'd really like you guys to help me explore. First is the lore, so how this actually fits into the universe. And then there's the gameplay side, so how players will be interacting with it. So Patrick, could you tell us more?
Yeah, man, nothing is worse than getting over the fear of being disappointed by a game you look forward to. I guess the closest thing to that would be like gear fear and Escape from Tarkov, being afraid to lose your shit. I mean, I'm definitely going to be buying this game. I want to play it on PC, but I also want to play it on both of the new gen consoles. I'm getting a PS5 and a Series X. And what I want to do is have them side by side on two different TVs with high refresh rate and see how they perform in certain, high demanding situations. I mean, I have a feeling the Series X is obviously going to shit on the PS5, but I don't know. Sony did some pretty interesting stuff with the architecture, so we'll see.
More about the lore of Braindance.
I would love to. So in the world of Cyberpunk 2077, Braindance was invented way back in the early 2000s at UC Santa Cruz. It was developed as a way of recording a person's experiences and then playing them back for someone else so that they could relive them as though it was happening to them. It was originally used for things like therapy and prisoner rehabilitation, but by 2077, it's become this global media industry, including things like movies, mass entertainment, things like that, video games, some interactive things, and of course, adult fare as well. Now, in our game, we deal a lot with black brain dances, or XBDs as we call them, and there are different types of those, but the one that you saw in the trailer just there was a flatliner. Now, that's where the person recording it actually dies during the recording. And it's popular with sort of an illicit kind of a thrill, but a mercenary can also use them for various things, and you'll see that in the game, of course.
And from the gameplay perspective, we have been working a lot throughout last years trying to figure out the best way how to use the Braindance in the game as a mechanics. So what we have settled on is this Braindance editor mode. As a player, you will be able
I like his
to
accent.
run
I can't pinpoint it.
Braindance in the editor mode and see different clues that have been registered on the peripheral of given actor. Now, as a player, you can slide on the timeline of the recording, back and forth, trying to uncover different clues. And that clues are actually telling a story in the game. So, as a player, you will run different investigations that will lead you to different mysteries, and you will uncover them actually using that Braindance as a mechanics in the game.
So, as Pavel was saying, we use Braindance as a storytelling tool. It's not a collectible. It's not something where you're going to go in and you're going to play it and you're going to be like, I've seen this before. What we use Braindance for is to give you a keyhole into the life of the residents of Night City, and we can explore things like childhood.
Quick question, chat. Is the video quality or the video audio loud enough in comparison to my voice? I can still boost it up. I have it at about 50% right now in Streamlabs OBS.
Trauma, religion, various philosophical ideas in a way that you might not otherwise experience in a story about a mercenary on the tough streets.
So we've tried to talk about some of the aspects that we think the community will find really exciting, but, you know, while you're both here, I'd love to know, what is it about Cyberpunk that you guys are really excited for? Patrick, why don't you start?
So
me habla
one of the
poquito
things that I'm
español,
most excited
very
about
little
in this game is
Spanish.
the characters and the way they interact with the world. We've got this really interesting world that stretches all the way back to the Cyberpunk 2020 source material and all of these events and all of those things, but those don't mean anything unless they connect with characters.
I do know Jaw Jaw
So when
means
we come
ha-ha,
up with a character,
'cause the
we
J's
start
are
with
silent.
their function. What is this person? What do they do in the story? But we don't stop there. We go back and we figure out what was their childhood like? What was their upbringing like? What kind of obstacles did they face in this harsh reality?
I think the character
and
design
did
looks
they overcome
badass.
them?
Like all
And
the
how
little
did they
face
overcome them, or
tats
did
and
they not overcome
cyber
them?
implants
Why?
everyone has just looks
And
so
you can
badass.
see all of those things in their environment, in their dialogues, in sort of how they operate in the world. And we come up with that for all of our characters. Now, you look at someone like Victor Vector, and you're going to see stories about his past in his environment and in his dialogue. You know, we come up with that stuff even if we don't use it in the game because it helps
I like the
inform
dude's
us
shirt
as to who these
on the
characters
right.
are.
I think it'd look a little bit better on me.
For me, I would not be myself.
He does
if I
have
would
a
not
fabulous
say
body, though.
That I'm the most excited about our quests. Like with our Witcher 3 team, with Patrick and like everybody that has stayed with us since the Witcher 3 time.
Yeah, you can
we really have
customize
grown
your
so
jiddly
much.
bits.
We have
If you
learned
want a
so
long
much, and
dong
we
or
have
you want
used
a little
all that
meat hammer,
experience
you can
to
get that
put them
too.
into the quest that we have made. And you will not find really a filler in this game. Like everything has a meaning. Like we put so much effort into making sure that everything is rewarding, is interesting, is talking about characters, as Patrick said, is talking about worlds, is talking about emotions, like touching the player in a really, like a real way.
And touching him
and I
deep
just
in the
can't
no-no
wait to
square.
Find out what you think.
Pavel, I know you mentioned story and
I
press
am
and
30
writing
years
press,
old.
and
I will be
when I was last
31
in the studio,
July
I had a
13th,
look
so
and I saw
very
a
soon
notebook
here.
on your desk, and I would love for you to
You
show
should come out for my
everybody this
birthday
notebook.
party. Thinking about
Okay, Holly, I-
hitting the beach
Yes,
if we're not
right. So,
quarantined. We gotta wear a mask
This
though.
is my notebook. It says
How old
salsa
are you?
quest designer. The reason is because I dance salsa, and I'm a quest designer.
I may have a young boyish glow to me,
So
but this
I
is the
wrote
face of a
part this
30-year-old
notebook
man.
Actually, when we were really starting Cyberpunk, at the very beginning, I wrote like a first note, and it says pretty much something along the lines of that we were starting with a prototype. And then, you know, I kept on basically noting things that we've been working on.
What is that, his diary?
For like next year's. I
Today
remember
I saw a
once
girl.
when our concept
She
artists
had
actually
nice
approached
hair.
me, and they said that they want to take a look on my notebook. I was like, what for actually? And they took some pictures, and they told me, yeah, well, you know, because we are looking for a reference material for notes of a psychopathic killer. Yeah, well, you may find maybe some of my notes in the game.
Dope, dude.
Pavel and Patrick, thank you so much for joining me. I'm pretty lucky because I have
The
read
wet
some
pages.
of the stories that you and the team have written for Braindance, and I'm pretty excited for people to discover them. But before we do finish today's episode, there is just one more thing we'd like to talk about. Earlier in this episode, I mentioned that media have been getting...
So after this, there are some new gameplay videos. I'm going to transfer over to that because it's less talking with devs and more hands-on gameplay, which I'm kind of a little bit more interested in.
hands-on with the opening of Cyberpunk 2077.
No, he had dust in
and
his
they
eye.
should
He
be
wasn't
posting
crying.
Their impressions right about now. And if you missed anything from today's episode, don't worry, we'll be uploading everything to our channels very soon. And finally, on behalf of everybody at CD Projekt Red, we just want to say thank you so much for joining us for this very first episode of Night City Wire.
Well, I enjoyed myself, sister.